Hey everybody, my name is Jim Spain. I'm 35 years old and I live in Opelika, Alabama. I recently watched Vaping with Twisted 420's camera giveaway video and I wanted to submit an entry. Um, just kind of want to give y'all a brief history of me and how I got into vaping. I was a lifetime smoker pretty much since I was about 15 years old. And over the last several years, it got to be where it was causing an issue, major issues in my daily life, and I just needed something different. A lot of the people that I knew at work were vaping, and I honestly didn't know much about it. I had seen it, but didn't have much information, didn't know a whole lot. Um, and my wife just happened to know somebody that was kind of big into the local vaping scene and introduced us, and we've actually become great friends. And that's kind of when I decided to give vaping a try. So I bought my first mod. It was a kit. It was the Endura T22. And once I got my nicotine level right, I didn't have any issues at all. And in fact, after that first day of vaping, I never picked up another cigarette. I never smoked another Black and Mild. Never bought another can of dip. And that was almost 2 years ago. It was a great little kit. It came with a nice sub-on tank, had some pretty good flavor, and it honestly served me really, really well. But as most beginners do with kits, like it got to the point that I outgrew it. So that's when I bought my first real mod. It was a Wismic RX-75. It came with the More Mini tank, and it was a great little mod. I didn't have any issues out of it. It worked really, really well. And to be honest, the only reason that I felt the need to upgrade was because the RX-75 comes with one 18650 battery. And I wasn't getting the power that I needed. I wasn't getting the battery life that I needed. So I felt like I should upgrade. And that's when I got a dual battery mod. And at that point, things started to progress a little bit. I kind of got to where I was getting a lot more interested in it, and it was originally designed to be purely a substitute for smoking, but it very much blossomed into a pretty amazing hobby for me. Something to this day that I'm very passionate about and I love, love, love very much. So I got a dual 18650 device, started getting some different sub tanks with a little better flavor and things like that. And it just got to the point that I wanted more, and my birthday was coming around, and my wife bought me a Smock TFB12, and I absolutely loved it. It had great juice capacity, really nice cloud, it had really good flavor, and it served me really, really well. And once I got the TFV12, that's when I really started getting interested in things. I started getting a little nicer devices and things like that, and I was like a sponge. I was literally talking to anybody and everybody that would talk to me about vaping. Everybody I knew that vaped, I was going to every single local shop in town, talking to people, and that's when a good friend of mine who actually sold me my first device, and to this day is a mentor of sorts as far as vaping is concerned, he turned me on to YouTube videos. And I had never seen a vaping YouTube review or anything like that. I had no idea, what it was about or anything. And honestly, the very first video that I watched was with Richard Mallard, Vaping with Twisted 420, and from that point on, I was hooked. His videos are extremely helpful. They're very funny. They're extremely informative. He tells you a lot about devices, and I was hooked. I was watching videos all the time, every day. I got into a lot of reviewers like Vaping with Twisted 420, Mike Vapes, Ambitions Vapors, Suck My Mod, Grim Green, Joel Robinson. There's a new guy that's out there. His name is DMO Vapes, and he's really good. And I was literally watching vape videos every single day. And at this point, I didn't know a whole lot about dripping or RTAs or DAs or DTAs. I'd heard about it from friends, but I honestly didn't have any experience with it. And through YouTube, I started learning about it and learned, about building coils and, how to use an RTA, how to use an RDA, how to use a dripper, and it really developed into an amazing hobby for me. I'm one of those guys that I'm going to do everything 110% or I'm not going to do it at all. And vaping was no different. I go to sleep thinking about vaping. I wake up thinking about vaping. I drive my wife insane talking about vaping. I've got vape stuff all over the house now. And it's really blossomed into something wonderful. I feel like through the stresses of day-to-day life that everybody needs an outlet that they can go to, and that's what vaping has become for me. Not only did it help me quit smoking, but it gave me something to do with my time. And a couple of years ago, I was going through some pretty rough stuff in life, as others often do, and I'm gonna say it, like, vaping saved me. And you know what? What's a vaping video without some vaping? This is my daily driver. It's an RX 300 with a Griffin 25 Plus. I've got a 0.2 build in it, rocking it at about 100 watts, and it's working really, really well for me. I've got a nice serial vape in it, and yeah, that's pretty much doing it for me. Forgive me, this is my first video, so I made a few notes just in case. The reason I'm doing this video is because I've got some short-term goals as far as vaping is concerned, and I've got some long-term goals as far as vaping is concerned. I would eventually like to be a full-time vaping YouTube reviewer, but I kind of feel like the first route in doing that is a Facebook group. That way I can kind of get my name out there a little bit. I can do some little small reviews on Facebook. I can get some fans, get a few followers, and then eventually start doing YouTube reviews and things of that nature. I plan to do all kind of vape gear, not just tanks or mods. I want to do the whole spectrum because I feel like that's important. And it's not just about the mod or the tank. A lot of times it's about the cotton you use, the coils that you use, who to buy from, who not to buy from, things of that nature. So that's honestly why I'm making this video. I feel like that I need this camera. That's the one thing that I truly need to help me get on my feet. And honestly, I'm gonna do this regardless if I win the camera or not, but I feel like winning this camera would really help me get started. And like I said before, vaping, it's not a hobby for me anymore. I've been vaping almost 2 years now, and it's a lifestyle. I absolutely love it, and it has saved my life, truly. So I want to thank everybody for their time. Let me have one more pull. I hope everybody has a great night out there, and let's keep on vaping.